Alright, boys. Welcome back to another Maybe Lewis MMA fight prediction video. So, we got Oliveira versus Gamrot this weekend, UFC Rio. And I just wanted to go through the card, top to bottom, let you know my predictions for every single fight. And yeah, I don't think this card's that long, so this video's probably not going to be that long. But let's get to it, boys. So, first fight on the card, we got Luan Lacerda versus Simon Oliveira. Two jiu-jitsu practitioners, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Lacerda has 10 wins by submission. Oliveira has 11 wins by submission. Oliveira's last fight, he lost to David Martinez, who just beat Rob Font. And Lacerda just lost to Blackshear. So, both didn't lose to bad guys. I got Lacerda by round 2 submission. Want to ask why? I don't know. Lacerda, round 2 submission. Now, next fight. Banger, boys. Julia Polistri versus Carolina Kowalkiewicz. Now, Carolina Kowalkiewicz is old. Very old. She's like 39. She just lost to Gomes, and she lost to Lucindo her last fight. Last 2 fights. That's what she lost. And then Polistri, she lost to Lupi her last fight, but she's the younger fighter. Lupi's not a bad loss, and Carolina's getting up there in age, boys, so I'm gonna have to go Polistri by unanimous decision. And yeah, next fight, we got Lucas Rocha versus Stuart Nickel. Not gonna lie, boys, do not know who these guys are. Now, Lucas Rocha beat Carpenter his last fight. No idea who that is. He has 7 first-round finishes, 10 knockouts. He has 17 wins. And Stuart Nickel, he's 8-1. Lost his last fight, looks like, to Jesus Aguilar. Not a bad loss, but he was 8-0 before that fight. So just based on that, I'm going to have to go with Rocha by decision. Looks like he's got more experience with all his wins and 2 losses, about 19 fights. You know, Nick only has 8 or 9. So yeah, Rocha by decision. Now, next fight, another banger, boys. Bia Mesquita versus Erna Alexieva. No idea who these ladies are. Looks like Mesquita is 5-0, 1 win by knockout, 3 by submission, and Erna is 5-3. I'm gonna go with Mesquita by round 1 submission. Yeah. Now, next fight where I actually know the fighters, boys. Let's go. Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Peterson. Now, Vitor Petrino obviously just came up to heavyweight. Beat Austin Lane his last fight, I'm pretty sure, by submission in round 1. Before that, he got finished by Anthony Smith and Dustin Jacoby at light heavyweight, which made him move up to heavyweight. And he's facing Thomas Peterson, who did he last fight? Thomas Peterson just last fought Dontel Mays, not a good win. Dontel Mays sucks. Before that, he lost to Kazeev, and he beat Mohammed Usman by decision. Now, I think Vitor Petrino is the more explosive striker in this matchup. Peterson obviously has the grappling, but I think Petrino could catch him with that big shot. He had power at light heavyweight. Now we're gonna see that power at heavyweight. He's got the lighter man skill, so I got Vitor Petrino by round 1 knockout, boys. Next fight after that, Jafel Filho versus Clayton Carpenter. Now, Filho, this guy looks very old. Maybe I'm tweaked out. Maybe he's not that old, but last fight, lost to Nascimento, but he beat O'Day Osborne by round 1 submission. That's pretty impressive. You know, O'Day's a pretty good name. He's 16-4. He has 10 wins by submission, so he's a submission practitioner, obviously. Jiu-jitsu. And Clayton Carpenter was 8-1. Just lost to Ulanbekov. That's how he lost his O, but that's not a bad loss, I'd say. He has 4 wins by submission. Pretty good. So, I got Clayton Carpenter by round 2 submission, boys. Now, last fight before the main card. What the hell is going on here? This website is glitched, boys. Lucas Almeida versus Michael Aswell Jr. I cannot press on these fighters because this is glitched. So I don't know who they last fought or anything. Let's use 4-ounce MMA predictions for this one, boys. I got Michael Aswell Jr. by decision. Now, on to the main card. First fight on the main card, boys. Ricardo Ramos versus Khan Ofli. Now, Ricardo Ramos, 17-7, 4 wins by knockout, 7 by submission. Just lost to Chepe Mariscal. Before that, he beat Culibao, but lost to Julian Orosa and Charles Jourdain. Oof, he hasn't been good in his last few fights. Now, Ofli is 12-4, 2 wins by knockout, 6 by submission. There's a lot of fighters on this card with submission wins. They're trying to stack jiu-jitsu guys on this card, but he's 0-2 in the UFC. Lost to Naimov and lost to Marion Santos by knockout. With that being said, boys, I'm going to have to go with Ramos by decision. Looks like he has more experience. I can just edge him out everywhere. Next fight, Jonata Deniz versus Mario Pinto. Not a bad heavyweight fight, boys. You know, Jonathan Deniz, 7 wins by knockout, 6 first-round finishes. He's 9-1. But I will say he looked horrible in his last fight with that guy on short notice. I don't know how he didn't finish him. Who was it? Alvin Hines. I'm pretty sure he took that fight on very short notice. Didn't finish him and actually looked good versus Deniz. Lost to Tibera before that, obviously, but he beat Williams and Lane. But Pinto knocked out Austin Lane last fight and looked pretty good, not gonna lie. You know, 6 knockouts. He's 10-0. Little heavyweight prospect. With that being said, I'm gonna have to go with Mario Pinto by round 1 knockout, boys. Looks like he got that pop. Deniz, obviously, he has that too, but he's older. You know, Pinto's a more fresh fighter. And, you know, this will help with the plot of heavyweight, you know, more contenders. Yeah. Now, next fight, boys. Vicente Luque versus Joel Alvarez. Obviously, I think Luque was supposed to fight Ponzinibbio, but Ponzinibbio pulled out. Luque lost to Holland at 316. I was there, boys. But before that, he beat Gorimbo, lost to Buckley, beat Dos Anjos, lost to Neo, lost to Bilal. So, you know, Luque's been up and down recently. But Joel Alvarez, I'm high on this guy here, boys. He's got 5 wins by knockout, 17 wins by submission, 14 first-round knockouts. He's 22-3. Just beat Jakar Close, you know, that flying knee and then that ground and pound. Then he beat Elvis Brenner. He lost to Saryukin, obviously, but that's not a bad loss at all. That's actually his only loss in the year. No, he lost his debut, but that's 2019. That's a young fighter, you know. But after that, he's really risen up. His striking is great. Obviously, I didn't even know he was a submission type of guy. But he beat Diekis by submission. But his last 2 fights, he's won by stoppage, KO. So, with that being said, with him being the younger, fresh fighter, you know, Luque is getting up there. And he's obviously taller, got the reach advantage. I got Joel Alvarez by round 2 TKO. I think he's going to stop Luque. I think he's going to drop him, finish him with the ground and pound. And I'm going to go as far as saying that's a lock on that one, boys. A lock. Next fight, the co-main event, boys. Davison Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. Now, this interesting fight, I'm not going to lie. Because, you know, Figueiredo had a 3-fight win streak before he lost to Jan Sandhagen. He looked good at bantamweight, but then he got with the top dogs, started losing, looked all right versus Jan. He got 50-45. Didn't look great. looked pretty bad that fight. Sandhagen, now he looked so bad in that fight. I'm not going to lie. He got his knee blown out, but before that, he just, I don't know, he couldn't get anything going really versus Sandhagen. And Montel Jackson is not a great comeback fight for him, boys. Montel Jackson, I'm pretty sure, has 5 inches on him. And he has, like, the longest reach at bantamweight. I think it's, like, let me see if it's here. He has a long reach. I think it's, like, 77 inches or something. This isn't a good comeback fight for Deiveson Figueiredo at all, boys. He has, like, 5 inches in reach on Figgy. Like, 6 inches in height. You know, Montel Jackson just beat Daniel Marcos, took his O. You know, we all remember that Blackshear knockout, like 20 seconds. And, yeah, Montel Jackson obviously is just a long, very technical striker. He's one of the most accurate fighters I've seen. You know, he got that good 1-2 down the middle. And I don't know if he's the favorite in this fight. I think he should be. I got Montel Jackson, boys, by round 2 KO, TKO. You know, I think Figgy's going to, obviously, with that long reach advantage, he has to try to close the distance and get really in Montel's face. I think Montel's precision is great. His accuracy is great. I think he'll land that 1-2 on Figgy coming in. He's going to drop him, finish him with the TKO. But, obviously, Figgy's really dangerous. He is getting old, so it's not really that risky, but I'll say this is a risky pick. Obviously, Figgy has that right hand. He has the grappling. But this is really just based on how he looks. Based off his last 2 performances, he hasn't looked good. He's getting up there. So, that's why I have Montel Jackson, round 2 TKO. It's number 15 versus number 6. Obviously, if Montel wins, then he shoots himself all the way up there into that top 5 area. He's going to get better fights, you know, closer to that title. But I do think round 2 TKO, Montel Jackson is going to stop him. Now, boys, main event of the evening, Charles do Bronx versus Mateus Gamrot. Now, obviously, this is very quick turnaround for Oliveira. You know, just got knocked out by Topuria in June. That's like, what, July, September? 3 months turnaround. That's not always great. But obviously, before that, he beat Michael Chandler. I think he lost to Saryukin. And Mateus Gamrot, he just beat Lundqvist Klein. Lost to Dan Hooker by split decision. But before that, you know, he beat Dos Anjos, beat Fiziev, beat Gamrot, but lost to Dariush. Yeah, obviously he's taking this fight. Not on that short notice, but still short notice, obviously. Do Bronx was supposed to fight Rafael Fiziev. This is a complete change in matchup for Oliveira as well. Going from a striker to a grappler. Here's how I see this fight going. I think that in round 1, it's going to be more of a feeling out process type of thing. I think Gamrot might take Oliveira down. Or it might, like, he might take him down, might hold him down. You know, Oliveira's going to threaten with submissions. He might, honestly, rock Gamrot in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised at that if he dropped him. But, yeah, I think the first round will go to probably Oliveira. Then round 2, I think that Oliveira obviously is going to... I think he's going to rock Gamrot. And you know how, like, when Gamrot gets rocked, he, like, shoots for the legs. Like, tries to shoot for the legs right away. I think when he does that, Oliveira is going to catch him in a gilly and get that round 2 submission. So that's my pick. Oliveira, round 2 submission. Obviously, you know, Oliveira, quick turnaround. But I still think this isn't that dangerous of a matchup for him. I think he'll get it done by submission. Be the first guy to stop Gamrot by finish. And yeah, boys, that's my predictions for this card. Let me know what I could do better, obviously. You know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know y'all predictions. And yeah, next video is going to be my reactions to this card. And then I think what's the next card after this one? Let me pull that up real quick, boys. And then the next card after this one, we got DeRitter versus Allen. So yeah, obviously, be aware for those 2 videos, reactions, prediction video. And yeah, have a good one, boys. Peace.